Try HelloFresh UK to get 60% off your first box, 25% off for 2 months, and to, of course, help support this channel. Link is down in the description. Thank you for your support. Well, the realistic increased prevalence of waterlogged pitches in FM24 have kind of put paid to my plans for today. We're still going to get in the Essex Derby, don't worry. We might get a bonus game against Nathan Jones as well. It's transfer deadline day in EFL, and at the moment, we are flying. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 21 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today for transfer deadline day in EFL, which should be fairly quiet, but due to injury, we might have to make one or two little additions. We've also had a couple of big outs during the window. We've got two big home games in the space of a week. We've had the Fleetwood game move multiple times, firstly for an FA Cup replay, then for a waterlogged pitch. And that means today we've got a Port Vale game to squeeze in, as well as the Colchester one we planned last time out. So if you're looking forward to the Derby deadline day and a game against Nathan Jones, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let's go and have a look at what's been going on, because as you can see, we are starting to make a bit of a gap to 4th place and below. And with 7 points clear in a game in hand, 9 clear of Forest Green in 5th, I'm starting to believe we could go back to back. And in fairness, there are quite a few of you that said this in the comments at the start of the year, and we've looked in real life in recent seasons. It's quite common for promoted clubs to make the top 7. So let's see if we can be the latest. If we go and have a look at the transfer window and see what's been going on, 2 potential ins, one of them enforced, one of them a John Still offer for a potential backup player. So we'll start with this one, Kyril Wilson. He is a young player who can play off the right and up front. Seems to be doing okay when he features for Chesterfield and for Yeovil the year prior. Isn't featuring enough. Now, he's got some of the core attributes. We've not got enough time to scout him fully. With a tiny wage and a little transfer fee, I feel he might be worth it. But we'll make a decision later in the day. And then Joe Johnson, a lone player from Luton. We looked at getting him before. He's played half a season in League 2 for Notts County and for Accrington. And he's done well on both of those occasions. And he's going to have to come in because of an injury we've picked up, which means we're without a player for probably half of the time between now and the end of the year. Let's start though by heading over to the transfer history, because there have been other additions and departures since you were last here, namely in midfield, where we finally used our parent club this season after most of their other players rejected us. And it's another link to last year's Build a Nation save with Distillery, because Reece Russell-Denny, you may remember, featured for Linfield quite late on in that save. And he, I think, was part of their European history-making side. But for us now, he's as good as anything we've got in midfield. He's got a great character. He's left-sided, which helps as well. And he's really determined and good physically. So definitely going to feature for us. Has made 4 appearances already. Got an assist in one of those as well. He replaces Noor Hussein, who goes on loan to Torquay, as everyone seems to be doing from our club at the minute. He wanted to go out and get football, and you can see, to just bolster the squad and give us that extra depth, definitely an upgrade for now. The other one who went out, who I can't remember if it happened during the last episode or not, is Amaro Nallo. We definitely accepted the offer then, but he has gone for 350 grand plus a 40% sell-on clause. I think might be 50 actually. It's a massive deal for us, so brilliant to get him out as well. A massive profit for a 6-month player who featured 3 or 4 times. Definitely a potential one for the future lost, but an offer that was just too good to refuse. Let's go and have a look, though, at what that's done to the schedule, because we have been brilliant generally. We've not been at our best. We've not been fluent. We've been winning games. You saw the game against Crewe last time, where we battled to a 1-0 win in a game we were second best. The predictable happened at Everton in the FA Cup replay, with Beto putting them ahead in the first minute. We did well to keep it to 3 in the end, thanks to Daniel Rose. Against Gillingham, bottom of the table, we won by 4 goals to 1. A red card in the 5th minute made it very easy, and it was 2 for Earing, 1 for Presley, and 1 for Elkin Baggott. We then won 2-0 at Accrington, with Ferry and Dans getting the goals, before a 3-1 win at Walsall, thanks to Earing, Morehouse and Dans. Then a 2-2 draw at home to Fleetwood was disappointing. We were pegged back after Jade and Dans got a brace, but overall, it's an unbeaten month in the league, which at this stage, if we keep doing that, we're going to be getting promoted. Jayden Danns is coming along really nicely, starting to find form after finding his happiness again. And this month, while it's not the easiest fixture list on paper, it's 4 home games out of 6, it's an Essex Derby, and it's sides that we can beat and put distance between us and them. Port Vale 7th could be a real important one. Notts County have had an awful year in 14th. They're really struggling, but they were the pre-season favourites. Can we beat them, stop them going on a late charge? And then you've got Crawley, Cheltenham and Morecambe, all mid-table or bottom half sides. It should be a really good run for us, and if we can get out of it unscathed, we could be in a very good position for promotion. So let's go and have a look at deadline day, because it is 8 AM in the EFL and there are 15 odd hours to go. We have talked about a bit of the inaccuracy you see on this screen sometimes. Apparently we're going to bid 12 million quid for a player we tried to get on loan a few months ago. I've just seen Robbie Brady's available. Looks like he's linked with Grimsby. He might be someone worth bringing in, genuinely. So I'm going to have a little nose at him, because bulking up the squad could be a positive. Might even be a better option than Joe Johnson at this point. Robbie Brady's got quality, but has he got enough physicality? For 4 months, surely he has. Let's go and get through deadline day though. 15 hours to go here. We've been linked with players in. Jack Kingdon is getting offers to go out, but at the moment, there's not been any doing. So we can relax. We can hopefully get through it unscathed and then just focus on Port Vale. Back in a minute if there's any news. Well, first news of the day comes 4 hours in, and it's an offer at lunchtime for Jack Kingdon. It's the first one that's come from English football, and it's the first one that may unsettle the player. So we're going to have to be quite careful here, but you can clearly see his value is 550 grand. So this offer of 195, of which a quarter isn't even guaranteed, is pretty pathetic. So we're going to go big. We're going to say 250. We're probably going to do the same there as well. And we're going to edge all this other stuff up. Basically, we're going to force them to withdraw their offer. And then we'll deal with everything else when it comes. Because he's going to get unhappy. We're going to agree to sell him for a certain price. And we'll wait and see if we get it. Fingers crossed we don't. Well, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest, because we're back an hour later and Reading have made an offer for Jack Kingdon. We had the discussion that came up as we expected with him. 950 grand we said we'd sell him for. It's going to take a big upgrade on the offer, but they're already offering 300 grand. So let's get it up to 900, which is what we said. And we'll also add a sell-on clause on there as well. Try and push it up a little bit. They have negotiated to 400, which is nowhere near enough. I don't think they're going to meet 900 today. I've got to be honest with you. And as long as that's the case, we'll be all right. So let's just push it on a bit further. 475 is the next offer. Reading are trying to do a deal. But we've got the agreement with Jack Kingdon. It's 950 in fact, isn't it? Why am I trying to scam us out of money? 950 grand, 30%. Oh, they might get there. They're keeping going at the minute. We could be in a spot of bother. Let's see if we can keep that sell-on clause in. There we go. They've paid it in the end. I mean, it's a great deal for the football club. We're in League 2. We're talking about the best part of £1 million with a sell-on clause that is sizable after as well. I'm not sure why he wants to go. I know they're in the Championship now, but he's not going to play there. They're bottom. We're going to be in the same division next year. Seems very odd. I mean, he's a good player. He's done well for us, but apparently he's not got that much more potential. So, given the position we're in, and given the fact that he's probably now the 3rd or 4th best centre-half at the club, I'm not that unhappy with that deal. 950 grand is a massive financial windfall for us. So we'll accept that with the sell-on clause that comes alongside it. And hopefully, he'll agree to join them now, because I'm happy with the finances. Let's go and have a look at Joe Johnson, who has agreed to join. The reason we want him for a very nominal wage is because if we go to our medical centre, Saxon Early has got a lower back stress fracture. Been out a couple of weeks, has got 5 more to go. And I just feel like it's going to take him a while to get up to speed. He was also a backup midfielder too, so just gives us a little bit more depth there. Tomlinson hasn't been the most reliable with injury this year, so I want to look after him too. And he can also be cover on the right. So Joe Johnson will come in. Not a spectacular player, but a link we know from Luton Town. Playing in the Under-17 World Cup for England in real life. And John Steele, director of football, is using his link with the old team. Let's get that deal done. We'll see if there's any more news. Well, as if it couldn't get any better, after an inflated fee accepted for Jack Kingdon, Reading have offered him back for the season with no wage contribution. I mean, that is a no-brainer, isn't it? to get £1 million plus a 30% sell on, and then to get the player back to help him improve, it makes perfect sense. So we're definitely going to do that. Joe Johnson has come in on loan as well. 2.5 star ability, 4 star potential. Very solid left back and a good personality too. Delighted to have him here. We will train him as a wing back as well, just to make sure he's confident in both roles and gets a bit better going forward. We've also got the offer accepted for Kyrell Wilson. I'm not sure I'm going to go through with that one now, you know. His determination's not great. The other stuff, the pace isn't really there. So I'm not going to worry about that for now. Page has handed in a transfer request. We'll offer him out for whatever price we can get rid of him for. Probably for nothing in truth. And we'll just see what happens for the rest of the day. But barring a superstar popping up, that will probably be it in terms of ins. Well, probably the final bit of news of the day. Jack Kingdon has agreed to go to Reading for £950,000. 30% sell-on clause and crucially, back on loan the rest of the season. That's a cracking deal for our football club. Sonny Hilton has picked up an injury, which is a bit of a concern. It's not a big one and it won't keep him out too long. But I am worried about that list, which is growing a bit now. 8 hours to go. I think we're basically done for the day. And I'm very happy that we've made improvements. And in fairness, we've not really changed the quality of the squad. We've made a significant amount of money. 8 hours remaining. It should be quiet. Well, the January window is now closed, and I'm pretty happy with the transfer work we've done. To make £1 million on a player we've now got back, to make 350 on one we signed in the summer and barely played, and to get a couple of good players in on loan with very little wage contribution, we've got to be thrilled with where we are. And for a promotion push, we've done what's important. We've finished the window stronger than we started it. Out goes Husin, out goes Nallo, Kingdon goes out but comes back in. And then we've also added Reece Russell-Denny and Joe Johnson as well. Very happy with where we are. And I think promotion's on the cards. We've got to go and prove it though. 2 quick games against Port Vale and Colchester. And we start with Nathan Jones's team. Well, fate conspired against us before this episode. It has now turned back in our favour. I was worried about squeezing both games in. We've got another waterlogged pitch at Roots Hall. So the Port Vale game has now been moved to next midweek. And as a result, we're back to our original schedule, which was deadline day, followed by Colchester in the Essex Derby. So we can turn all of our focus to that on Saturday. We'll have everyone fresh as well. So let's go and get forward to that one. We can also look at our loan stats because Cameron Ismail is very close to first team level. Back in a moment for the Essex Derby. Might be the only time we get it in this save. So let's make sure we enjoy it. Well, the other good news with a fixture rearrangement means that Parker doesn't miss a game. I'd sent him on holiday again for the Port Vale match because we just needed to rest him. And in the end, he's not ended up missing anything. It's been perfect. So let's get through the fixtures and see how we get on today. It is first v 22nd, and it is an Essex Derby. Colchester are struggling. They've got Danny Schofield in charge. They've got some decent players on paper, and probably as big a wage bill as us, to be fair. But they're not delivering at the minute, are they? They've got Fevrier, who we've had before on this channel. They've got Ellis Yandolo, who's the same. And they've also got Noah Kene in midfield, who we've had at multiple clubs before. I'm surprised they're doing that poorly with those players, to be honest, because they've got goals in the team. They just seem to be really poor. And defensively, they're obviously letting in goals. So we're going to go and make the most of this. It is the team who I believe at the start of the season, the fans said we had to finish above. Let's have a quick look. Get the better of our rivals, Colchester. We drew the first game this season against them, and now we're at home. We're miles above them in the league. Can we do something special? Let's go and see. Through the tactical meeting we go. It's all about League 2 now. It's a sold-out Roots Hall. Only the second time in this save that's happened, and the first in a league match. Everton was the previous one in the last episode. We're going to go 4-4-2 because they're sitting very defensive and I want to press as many men against them as possible. Parker's come back from holiday and he's still knackered. I mean, good job we've got Kingdom back, isn't it? Because that's a real problem otherwise. Hilton's out, Morehouse is out. We're a little bit short for now. So let me go and get the changes made that are needed. We'll be back in a minute to run through the team. Well, we're a little bit short today, and I've just noticed a problem because we've got 6 loan players in the squad. So Vigor will drop out for Scott Morris. That might be a problem when Parker's back as well. But looking at this side, we have gone as strong as we can. Coleman's got to knock the sub-keeper, but he's got to be on the bench. Morehouse is missing out, and we're leaving Parker out as well. So this is the team and the squad we've gone for. Jack Earing is the man to watch at the minute. He is the informed player since the last episode. He's just been phenomenal. We've also got Jaden Dans doing well. Well, Presley's dropped off, it's got to be said. And the rest of the team, we see a second debut for Kingdon. Baggett joins him at centre-half with Rose in goal. What a signing he's been, by the way. Matheson and Tomlinson, the fullbacks. Johnson will have to make do with a bench place today. Ferry and Dewenny out wide with Hilton injured. And then Titchmarsh joins Earing with Presley and Dans up front. The biggest thing that's come out of this window is it's a strong bench. If we had Hilton fit, it would be Dewenny instead of Mooney. Scott Morris would probably be out for Parker. And we'd be looking at a very good 18. We've got Cardwell and Mooney, who we know can make a difference off the bench when needed. And then 3-star loan players in Cox, Johnson and Russell Denny. Scott Morris has even popped up with goals as well this year. So let's just go and get into it. We're in fine form. We're looking really good. We're flying at the top of the league. And with a couple of lovely new additions now. Kingdom, was he 14 before? He must have been. Let's go and get into it. See how we get on in the Essex Derby. Do not bottle this one, lads. As we go through to the team screen, it is 5 changes for Colchester. Out go Matty Longstaff, Ollie Dellum, Yandolo, Fevrier. Most of the people we looked at. Davide was their top earner, I think. But they've brought in good players. They've still got the likes of Kenny, Connor Barron in the middle. Freaking hero from the FM21 head coach. Let's go and look at the tactics. We're going to go Dewenny a little bit further forward here, just to push him up. And hopefully that will be enough. We've got to be on the front foot here. It's not the sort of game where we can worry about the opposition's style. We've got to think, how do we impress ourselves and how do we entertain this crowd? Because for me, that has been what we've aimed to do this season. For the most part, we've been pretty good at it. It's been a quiet 10 minutes, but we've got a corner with Will Ferry. Presley's up at the back post, and he was the pass width away from ending his goal drought. That would have been perfect timing, wouldn't it? Not to be, and now Ferry's got another one. Can he get there second time lucky? It's Baggett up this time. The keeper does well. And Colchester survive it. But early doors, Southend on top. It feels like the sort of game where if we can get the first, which we might just do. Oh no! Double woodwork. Presley hit the bar from the first header. Kingdom from an acute angle hit the post with a second. We've hit the woodwork 3 times in 15 minutes. I just don't want it to get nervy after wasted chances. If we go a goal up in this game, I feel we'll win it 3 or 4. But the longer it goes, the more nervy it will get. But we've already hit the woodwork 3 times. The fans can't complain we haven't had a chance. As Flanagan gets in at the other end, he might have complained if that had gone in. Given far too much time, but his shot goes wide. And Daniel Rose, as always, had it covered. No shot on target with 20 minutes gone. Albeit we've been very close a few times. But it's not an ideal start, is it? As Matheson gets it on the right. He finds Harry Titchmarsh, who's had a poor run, kind of corresponded and matched up with Earing's good one, as Earing nicks the ball there right on cue. Works his way left and then goes back to Baggett. He finds Titchmarsh and now Kingdon. Back in the team again after securing his move to Reading. Where's his head at? Finds Baggett in the centre circle, up to Ferry. Does well to win that challenge, to be fair. It's out to Tomlinson on the left. Ferry making a run. He's found him. Tomlinson cutting inside as well. Ferry puts the cross in. No, Presley's up. And we've got there in the end. That is a big goal for us with it being him too. He's only scored 1 in his last 4, I think. He's not been in great form. But Aaron Presley delivers on the big stage. 1-0. We're doing really well. With half an hour gone, we'll praise the lads and we'll hopefully get a bit more out of them. 1 and a bit expected goals. A couple of woodwork hits too. We can't complain, can we? As Barron gets the ball for Colchester. We've just got to be wary while it's won. Make sure we stay in our shape and defend these well. As Barron goes back to Holgate and Edwards. Big hoof over the top, which Baggett deals with well. And Earing plays Tomlinson in. The EFL experience showing as he carries it out of danger. Ferry's running left, but he goes right to Presley. Holds up well, then he finds Ferry. What a pass that is. What a finish that is. But the flag's up. It was offside. It was a great ball from Presley. But Ferry had just gone too soon. It remains 1-0 with 5 to the break. We can't complain. We've been the better side by far. Half time, we have been the dominant force, but we've not made it count enough. And at 1-0, there's still the potential for a nervy finish. So let's see if we can get that second and wrap this game up. I want the fans to be entertained. I want those extra 3,000 or 4,000 to come back for the next one as well. but one shot on target and a few woodwork hits probably isn't going to do that. As we play out short to Matheson from a free kick. He finds Titchmarsh in the centre circle and it's back to Kingdon. Support on the right from Matheson who had cut in. Run down the line is Dewenny and he's been found. He gets to the byline. Two in the middle. Cross for Presley. Brilliant move. Brilliant goal. Played out from goalkeeper to centre forward. And Aaron Presley is back in form when it matters. Oh, I'm a very happy man. This is an enjoyable performance. But it's a free kick for Colchester. Might change that. Not with Daniel Rose in goal. No saves to make all game. Then delivers on the hour mark when we need him. As he plays out to the back for Tomlinson. We get a third. We can bring Johnson on for his debut. We might do anyway with that sort of pass. Tomlinson with an awful one. Flanagan gets it left to Kazim. Knocks it past Matheson. Gets the ball in. Rice cuts inside. That's going to be 2-1. And Joe Tomlinson. That's why I didn't trust him to be the only fit left back. Because for the rest of the season, we can't afford mistakes like that. Really poor from Tomlinson. And he's lucky to only lose 0.1 from that, to be honest with you. We've got just over 20 to go. We've got a free kick with Will Ferry. There's a couple of options on the edge of the box here, you know. But Ferry has scored a couple before. Not quite with that one. Let's get into the final 15. We're not going to make the changes just yet. I want to stick with a team that's winning. And I want to stick with a team that's cohesive. But there is a point where we're going to have to twist. As Earing gets the ball in midfield. He's actually had a poor game today by his standards. Finds Tomlinson. And he goes inside to Presley. Got the runner on the right, but now he's given it away. This is turning into a difficult moment. Titchmarsh wins the challenge, but it falls for Fitzpatrick on the right. And Colchester are growing in confidence here. Holgate in a centre circle. They've got nearly everyone forward as Terry carries it up to the halfway line. I mean, we're keeping in a good shape for now, but it only takes one pass. As Fitzpatrick beats his man with ease. That's a brilliant run. Fitzpatrick shoots. It's a great save. Oh, it's off the post. I thought he'd saved it. We are going to make the changes now because the screw is being turned. Tomlinson off for Joe Johnson. He'll make his debut. I'm going to replace Jack Earing with Reece Russell-Denny. I'm going to bring Cardwell on for Dans and put Presley as the advance forward. I'm going to drop Dewenny back onto the right of a four-man midfield. And I might put Cox on for Kingdon, who just seems to be struggling after that midweek move. And I know that it's not really ideal having two left-footed centre-halves. I think they both probably prefer playing on the left as well. But we're just going to stick with it and see how we go. 4 changes made, 20 minutes remaining. And this is tighter than it should be in the circumstances. It won't matter if we win. But for now, the nerves are jangling. So let's praise the lads again. Matheson will come off for Scott Morris in the final change in a minute. Just want that bit of height at the back post. As Russell-Denny back to Cots. We're now very left-footed heavy, aren't we? As Reece Russell-Denny carries it well. Good football from him. What a loan signing he is. He picks it up again. Carries it forward. Goes for the shot. Was not far away that. Matheson will come off for Scott Morris. We've got 10 minutes to go. I mean, we've deserved to win this game pretty handsomely. And if the woodwork ones had gone the other side of the woodwork, we'd be winning 3 or 4 or 5. But with Dewenny's corner, we could yet make it comfortable. Headed away as far as Ferry, who looks knackered out here on the right. Ball into Cox and support from Baggett. Now Russell-Denny. What a time to get your first goal for the club and endear yourself to these Southend United fans. Reece Russell-Denny, a big assist in one of the previous games, and now a very big goal. Wraps up victory against Colchester United, becomes an instant hero at this football club. And we will stay top of the league with a big win over the rivals in what might be the last Essex Derby of the save. They're fighting relegation to the National League, and we look destined for League One. As Presley crosses from the left, Cardwell's up. Oh, it could have got better. But for the 4th time today, we've hit the woodwork. As Presley on the rebound. Oh my word, what a goal. Hat-trick for Aaron Presley. Russell-Denny assisted it. And Cardwell hit the woodwork just before. We've now got the margin of victory our performance probably earned. And it's 4-1 to Southend United. This train is rolling on. And if Aaron Presley is staying back in form, this is going to be a lovely finish to the year. We move on to 69 points. The goal difference is great. The teams below are starting to drop off. I mean, you look at it now. The top 7 is virtually secured. We've just got to make sure we keep the gap to 4th, and it could be automatic promotion again. A very good episode. A very good win against the rivals. And Aaron Presley, you absolute superstar. I can't wait to see you banging in the goals in League One. What a player. What a performance. It is 26 in 26 starts. Joe Johnson made his debut. Reece Russell-Denny made himself a very instant hero. And we're now 6 unbeaten in the league. It is a very good day for us. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. 2 more episodes, I think, to cover this season. If it does get tight near the end, I'd really like to get it wrapped up with a few games to go because Doncaster 2nd place, they're away in the 4th game from the end. Bradford at home the 3rd game from the end. Cambridge away chasing the playoffs, the penultimate one. And Forest Green at home in 4th on the final day. I just want it wrapped up by then, in truth. The game we're going to come back for, though, is Tranmere away. They're in 5th place, and it's a midweek fixture. We'll test our squad depth at that point as well. We've then got Ebbsfleet at the other end, who are the side that came up with us last year. They're fighting against relegation, so those 2 will probably be the next episode. And hopefully, by that point, we'll edge a lot closer to promotion. I think we're going to do it. We've got the squad in place. Do you agree or disagree after that transfer deadline day? Let me know what you think of the signings in the comments. Can we get over the line? I mean, we see it in real life so often, but I think this is a step we're going to make. What do you think of the 2 big sales? Do you agree with my decision to let Jack Kingdon go for that price, especially when we've got him back on loan now? If you did enjoy this video though, a great win against the rivals and a record transfer fee received in this series so far, and please do put a thumbs up on it. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of the season, see if we can go back to back, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. It feels like FM24, bar the Twitch save with Luton, is going a little bit too well this year. When are we going to get the big smack in the face? I'm sure it won't be too far away. We'll be back with this one in a couple of days' time to see if we can stay in form. Before then, we'll be back tomorrow with the head coach. You can find that playlist in the eye above, as well as our top 3s, our youth development special, the Twitch channel and the football podcast. And if you're a Luton fan, there's a special over there this weekend as well. A special thanks to HelloFresh UK, who have kindly partnered with us again. You can find a link down in the description for 60% off your first box to help support the channel, and for 25% off for 2 more months as well. Give it a try if you haven't before. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you back here next time, as with our new additions to the squad, our promotion charge continues.